talk a little bit about memes, and I'm not going to speak too loudly because it is the early hours of the morning. But I thought this would be an interesting subject because memes are an enormous part, perhaps too much of a part of the political discourse on the internet and particularly social media. Um, I've just come off a debate thread, and the guy I was arguing with, and unfortunately it was an argument more than a debate. Um, every single response was just another meme. Now, I think memes can be very powerful, they can be very witty, but I'm very critical of people who rely on memes and every single response that they make is a meme because it indicates to me a sort of laziness. And the thing about memes is well, there's the obvious problem that you get a lot of memes that are attributing quotes to people that there's no way to verify if that's accurate. Um, to the point where it's almost ridiculous. But I also think memes are a way of avoiding adult debate. There's something rather infantile about them. That's not to say that they aren't clever. Like I say, I think some memes are very witty. But it's left and right. This isn't something that's a domain of left or right. It's used by both sides. But I do kind of wonder about those who spend all their time just creating memes instead of, constructing actually just adult debate points. Because memes are a way of it's like clickbait. They get a picture and it's usually amusing, it's usually quite witty, and it gets a lot of responses. But if you really look at them, very often they have flawed arguments. Um, I'm not going to lie, there have been memes I've agreed with, you know, but that's the point. They're all biased, they all have a kind of, you see what you want to see. And let's be honest, a meme is more interesting and colourful than someone just making a paragraph, which is a point. Um, so let me know your thoughts. What do you think of memes? I think we can't avoid them. I think they're going to be out there. I think it's now part of the discourse. But I do feel that there are people who over rely on them. And I don't like the idea that a meme wins an argument because ultimately, what is it? It's a picture and a quote. And it isn't really an argument. I know there's a phrase that a picture speaks a thousand words, but when it comes to memes, in the context of political discourse, I think we've lost an era where people just engage in constructive debate, and that's sad, really. And this is something that's on the left and the right. Both sides do it. I'm not totally anti memes. I think they can have their place, but I don't think that we should rely on them as a win all sort of approach. Let me know your thoughts.